can actually live in a nation, because nobody can stay in an insecure place. And it is worrisome what is happening in Nigeria, waking up every day with killings, kidnappings, abductions, and everywhere, which has now made Nigeria one of the most insecure places on the surface of the earth. In fact, it's leading to a failed nation. And that requires an urgent attention of everybody. In the Southeast in particular, again, that is the same situation. As I thank the government for their effort, there's need to do more by all leaders to ensure that we tackle this mess. In the Southeast, I urge the various governments, members, I said, while thanking them, to come together as a family. There's need for the governors of the Southeast to work as a family, to be able to tackle that. I'm saying that from the little experience I had when we were there. It is important. And even checking the harsh economic conditions now, even in development and economic agenda, I want to see the Southeast governors work closely more as one. Because they can do. And I believe they know each other, they can interact. We want to see them come together. We want to see them bring this entire zone together. And I'm preaching the same of other zones. While the federal government has far that overshadows everybody, the various things should come together. In the Southeast in particular, it is very urgent. I'm again saying from my little experience, if they can call meetings, even meetings at times of those of us who were there before, to come together and interact about a common purpose. This is very important.
Excellency, you're aware that there was an attempt to form a Dubago by the Southeast governors. They formed it in Abakaliki, and it failed. What do you think it will work this time?
Well, I think more effort. I don't believe in failure. You know, more effort should be put to make it work. They should work with various other security organizations, vigilantes and everything. They need to do more. And I believe working together will go a long way.
Okay, so talking about the zone insecurity and narrowing it down to the Southeast here, some people have attributed it to the continued incarceration of people, Nnamdi Kanu. And people like Ohanese and several other individuals have called for the release of that young man. I don't know what your own take is about that.
My take is very simple. I've said it repeatedly. That I don't see anything why his continued detention. Quite frankly. Especially as the law, the courts have granted him bail. Government must obey the law. Rule of law is an intrinsic asset that we must cherish and live with. And I've said I'm going to discuss with every agitator. And I use the same opportunity to play to government to ensure that all those who are in similar conditions are released and discussed with. We're a democratic government. We shouldn't be doing things that are arbitrary and not within the law.
Okay, we're seeing what's happening in Kenya. The citizens have been protesting over tax reforms by the government. But here, some people believe that Nigerians have been very docile. And do you think that we have actually been very docile in Nigeria, given the harsh economic realities of the time?
Well, you know, let me classify this. I'm against riots. I'm against destruction of government assets and properties. Because that's the same money we're looking at, the scarce resources that we're going to use to repair them. I'm not against peaceful protest. But it must be for reasons, not for interest often a time here you see protests being to satisfy a particular interest. It must be properly articulated. There's things that is happening that is against and properly directed. Properly articulated and properly directed. So you don't go. I recall when people were saying they're protesting against police or any other organization of government, and I said to them, no, let's deal with the leadership. If we have good leadership, their agents can be bad. But what happens here is that Nigerians say, oh, our problem is police, our problem is EFCC, our problem is ICPC, our problem is army. No, the problem is leadership. If the leaders are competent, have the capacity, doing the right thing, the agents will toe in the line. And that is what I want. I want to see these things that are properly organized. I want to see people listening. And I'm using the same opportunity to say, all those who are being held because of, say, NSAS, protests and everything, or because of freedom of speech or journalists, should please be released immediately. We're a democratic country. People have a right under the Constitution to express themselves freely under freedom of speech. They have also a right to peacefully protest. And we must listen to them. We must listen to those who say they are not happy. That's why it is a democratic nation. We should stop acting dictatorial and behaving as if it is not a democratic country. I know we're in a state capture, but then we should act in a manner that shows some decency.
Specifically, Your Excellency, you want it through the budgetary areas or by increasing the number of security operatives in the country? How do you want it?
There's so many things we can do. There's so many things. We need to do more in terms of having more personnel within our security system. We need to give more support, put in more resources in terms of training, in terms of ammunition, in terms of everything. Because we're in difficult, we need to secure the country. We can't be telling foreign investors to come to a place where that is insecure. The person who is coming to invest and earn profit has to be alive to enjoy it. Profit or proceeds.
So there was recently talk in Nigeria about a possible formation of a mega party to challenge APC. And we haven't heard much from you concerning that.
You know, for me, my focus is how the poor Nigerians today will eat. I want to talk about things that are affecting Nigerians today. We politicians are preoccupied by election. That's not what I'm talking about. How do we reduce the price of food? Our people are dying of hunger. How do we make life conducive for the poor Nigerians? How do we make sure that people earn more money in order to live? How do we pull people out of poverty? That should be our concern, not forming mega party or this thing. If forming mega party is to be able to provide what I'm saying now, I'm all for it. If it is about state capture so we can start continuing the same consumption, no. But if it's to move it to production, yes.
Thank you.